Hello and welcome to Big Orbit Games unboxing video for the new Dice Masters Dungeons & Dragons Faerun Under Siege 2-player starter set. My name is Simon and I'll be taking you through this today. So what I'm going to do is just open it up, show you what's inside, show you the cards and dice and all the bits you get in here, just give you a brief rundown on stuff and yeah, just take a look through what's in here. So this is designed for new players. They do these for every D&D set, these 2-player starters. If you're new to the game, these are a great way to get into it. Even if you're already playing, you get new action cards and new dice in there, and the new cards, so still worth picking up regardless. But if you are looking at starting the game, this is a great way to start for you and a friend to have a few games with. However, you will eventually need your own sets, because there just isn't quite enough cards to go around. But you can get that if you enjoy playing it. So we get in here a rulebook. Apologies in advance, by the way, through this video if I mispronounce anything, for example Faerun, just in case. But anyway, so rulebook just goes through all the rules. You've got the simplified version of the rules here, just explaining it, and then into a bit more detail later on. The most important bit I feel is in the middle, which is the playmat diagram. And just explains where all the different zones are and where your dice move around. And if you are just learning to play, definitely keep this on hand, keep this out and use it, because it gives you all your little reminder text on there as well, and just helps you remember where things should be going as you're playing, because it is important. And then just the rest of the book again is just an explanation of some of the rules and stuff. So there's that. So, taking a look at the rest of this. Flip this back over. This is taped down, so let's just open that up there. So, in here you get all the cards you need to play and all the dice you'll need to play as well. So, I will start with the card. Actually, I'm going to start with these first. You get a bit of Ninja Zest in there. Woo! Exciting. As you can see, because you use dice in this, you need to be able to randomly pull dice out, so you have to use dice bags. You get in here 2 dice bags, one for each player. Now originally these used to just be red and blue, very simple, very boring, but now they've started actually printing images on them to make them look cool and different. I think it's Drizzt the Hunter. They're fairly sturdy. I mean, they are like a paper, but the stock of it is quite thick, quite decent. It'll stand up to a good few players before it starts like falling apart and wearing out. However, I would recommend getting something like either the collector's box, which comes with a velvet bag, or making your own, nice and easy to make. They're just little dice bags, really. So, or if you're like me and have giant man hands, sometimes you do need a slightly bigger bag so you can actually get your entire hand in there. So you get 2 of those, which is useful because this is for 2 players. So, moving on to the cards in here, I'll explain what each one is. So on top here we have the collector's checklist. So if you're intending to collect the set, this just lists all the commons, uncommons, rares and super rares in the set, and you can just tick them off as you collect them, which is nice for collector's purposes. Now I would start with the bronze dragon. I'm just going to quickly show you these ones at the back so I can drop them. We have here the different markers for the basic action dice, because you have to mark which ones they are, and this one you get pink, orange, grey and cyan, because different starter sets have different colours. So those are the 4 colours you get in this one. So onto the actual cards themselves. So first of all we have the bronze dragon. Now for those of you who are brand new to Dice Masters, each card has a name, and then you get multiple versions with different subtitles. So this one is the Minion Dragon, that's an Apprentice Dragon, that's the Master Dragon. Generally speaking, in a set there's only 3 variants of a card. However, the starter deck cards, usually you get 3 versions in the starter deck, and then there might be 1 other version in the normal booster packs as well. So this card costs 4 to buy, one of which has to be a mask, which is one of the energy types. So there's mask, fist, bolt and shield. You also have the affiliation banner underneath. That one means monster, and that's probably one of the more important ones if you're playing just with D&D sets, because of an ability called experience. Then you have the ability on the card, I'll get to that in a moment. You have the maximum number of dice you're allowed to place on this, so this is when during constructed, and it's how many dice you can use on it. And then just a reminder of the images, a reminder image underneath, which just shows you the dice that's used for it and the different faces on it. And then we go back to the ability. So this one is Breath Weapon 1. So you can pay 1 of any energy type to deal 1 damage to your opponent and all their characters, which is fairly nasty. Great big breath spreading across the enemy field. If you look through the rulebook, it'll just give you a few more details on this Breath Weapon 1. You can only do this once per card, so even if you had 3 or 4, like your maximum 4 bronze dragons in play, you can certainly do Breath Weapon 1 once from this card. So, but Bronze Dragon, Minion Dragon. Then we get the Apprentice Dragon version, so he's got Anti-Breath Weapon, which is an X. So if your opponent uses a breath weapon, ta-da, you can pay an amount equal to the opponent's breath weapon cost to cancel the effect. So he can pay 1 to do it, you could pay 1 to then stop it. We also have Burst Effect. So the Burst Effect itself is pay 1 less to use anti-breath weapon, which means against this guy it would be free. And what Burst is, so you get single and double burst, and there's a little asterisk down in the bottom there, and I'll show you on the dice when I get those out. And that means a burst, so if you've got that face up, you can use that ability. Then we have Master Dragon. So he has Breath Weapon 1 again, and also, whilst he is active, whenever an opponent uses a breath weapon, Bronze Dragon deals an equal amount of damage to that opponent and to each of their character dice. So if you breath weapon him, he breath weapons you back. Seems fair to me. Then we have a Cockatrice. This is the Minion Monstrosity. Another 4 to play with but this time requiring a bolt. There's also this extra symbol here, which I believe is the alignment, and I believe that one means neutral. I think that's neutral, and then white for, yeah, of course, because green for neutral, white for good, red or black for evil. Because D&D cares about what alignment you are. And it's also a monster. Yay, monsters. So this one's ability is when fielded, KO target character die with purchase cost 4 or less. So that's referring to this, which is the cost required to purchase the dice. Then we have Apprentice Monstrosity. While active, whenever an NPC is fielded, roll an unpurchased spell or basic action die, and then on 2, KO the NPC and return the spell die afterwards. So these are your the spell or basic action dice will be out in general play, and they've got faces which say number 2, so they have 2 generic energy that can be used. And an NPC is also one of the starting 8 dice you get, and I will show you those when we get to those. Then the Master Monstrosity is when blocked, reroll target blocker blocking Cockatrice and KO it if it rolls an energy face. So that could be pretty nasty, pretty mean. Then we have Glabrazu. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that, my apology. 4 mask, he's evil and a monster. While he is active, your Fiend dice costs 1 less to purchase, and he is a Minion Fiend, so he's a Fiend. So buy one of these guys, roll him, make him active, and then you're purchasing the rest of them for 3. The Apprentice version is whilst active, your Fiend dice cannot be damaged except by combat damage. So this will stop like basic action dice and spells from dealing damage, like Magic Missile. And then we have Master Fiend. While he's active, your opponent cannot target your Fiend dice with action dice. So you can see these two are quite similar in their types of abilities. Yet the first one, even though it's only a minion version, allows you to field Fiends for cheaper. So it depends sort of what you want out of the characters. The whole Minion Apprentice Master doesn't necessarily denote they are better, they're just different. And here we're on to some of the other characters. So we have a Gnome Ranger, the Minion Harper. So I believe that's a good alignment. I'm not sure what that one means, that symbol underneath, my apologies for that. And then its affiliation is the Harpers. So this is experience, and then when fielded, deal 2 damage to target character die, and its bursters instead deal 4 damage, but only if you have 2 or more experience tokens. So experience, when one of your die KOs a monster die, so one of these with affiliation like this, you can put an experience counter on the card itself, and then each die you roll, when it's fielded, for each experience counter gets +1 attack and +1 defense, plus usually there's some extra bonus for having experience counters. So if you, as long as you have 2 or more experience tokens on here, then it's dealing 4 damage instead, and that's with the burst, as you can see, which is on that version of the die. So we have the Apprentice Emerald Enclave, so the affiliation is the Emerald Enclave. Again, it's experience, but this one is when fielded, draw a die from your bag and put it into your prep area, so it's giving you draw advantage by letting you have extra dice to roll next turn. And then if it is an NPC die, deal 2 damage to target character die. And as I said earlier, you start with 8 NPC dice. And then this one is the Master Lords Alliance. So that's the Lord Alliance affiliation banner there. Again, experience, and whilst active, your other attacking character dies get +1 attack until end of turn. So it's boosting your whole squad there. So now we have the Half-Elf Bard Minion Harper. So this is another Harper. Experience again, and when it blocks, draw a die and add it to your prep area. If it is an adventurer die, anyone that has experience as an adventurer. Ah, yes, that's what that means, sorry. That's what the little symbol means. Draw an additional die and add it as well. Pretty cool. Then we have the Order of the Gauntlet version. Experience, and whilst active, your other character die of equal or lower level to your highest level Half-Elf Bard are not affected by opposing character abilities. So what it means by level is this. So this is level 1, level 2 and level 3. So that's what it's referring to when it says that. Then we have the Lord's Alliance version and experience, and when it attacks, each attacking character die gets +1 attack and +1 defense for each of your other different character dice. That's pretty cool. Nice little buff you can spread around there. We're on to the Hellhound, which is a minion fiend. So it's a monster again, but this time no abilities, completely blank, but it does only cost 2 to purchase. So nice and cheap minion there. This one costs slightly more now. It's on 3 fist, so requires at least 1 fist energy and 2 of any other. And when it attacks, deal 1 damage to target character or opponent. Nice and simple, bit of spike damage there. And this version, the Master Fiend, when it attacks, target character die cannot block this turn. So hopefully it lets you get your damage through. We have a Hill Giant, only costs 2, but no ability. This one costs 3 and it has Overcrush. Deal damage in excess of blockers defense to opponent. So if it's level 3 attacked, so 5 attack, and the opponent only had 1 defense, it would the Hill Giant deals 1 to the dice, and then 4 goes over the top and hits your opponent in the face. Then we have the Master Giant. When it attacks, he can only be blocked by 2 or more character die, because he's a giant. Then we have the White Dragon. So Minion Dragon, Breath Weapon 1, and it gets +1 defense whilst blocking. So that's cool. It's a bit of a defensive dragon. This one has Breath Weapon 1 and then level 1 character dice damaged by this Breath Weapon cannot block until end of turn. So that could be useful for helping you swing through into your opponent, stopping them from blocking. And then the Master version of the White Dragon. Good character dice damaged by this Breath Weapon cannot block until end of turn unless your opponent pays 1. So slightly different, but it has Breath Weapon 2. So slightly different. So those were all your character cards. So now we have the basic action cards. This one is called Banishment. It costs 2 to purchase, and it's put target character die from opponent's prep area into their used pile. So it stops them from rolling it next turn, because if it goes to the used pile, it only goes back into the bag when the bag's empty. As you can see, the basic action dice are 2, 2, 2, so 2 generic mana on energy on each of those. Then you have the 3 different facings with the exclamation mark, and that means you can use this ability here. 1 blank, 1 with burst, 1 with a double burst. And all the basic dice for this have different colours, but the way you do it, so the artwork on this, they appear black, and then using the cards I showed you earlier, you'll put them underneath and you say, right, all the cyan dice, basic action dice mean Banishment. That's what that's used for. Then we have Barkskin as a basic action card. So target character die cannot be dealt damage until end of turn. Nice and defensive. Or for double burst, choose 2 target character dice instead. There's also a globe ability here. So pay a shield, target character die gets +1 defense until end of turn. This is an ability that anyone can use. You don't have to have purchased one of the dice. It's just something that everyone has access to. So that's pretty cool. We have Blink, Transmutation. So use only after blockers are assigned. Each of your blocked character dice deals 1 damage to the defending player in addition to normal damage. So they sort of blink through and deal damage. Look at, put a little monitor. And then global, pay a mask, remove target attacking character die from the attack zone. So it stays in the field, so you're not removing it completely, but you are stopping it from attacking. It's pretty mean. Chainmail Armor. So equip. So attached to a character with the adventure icon. Equipped character gets +4 defense and cannot be affected by opposing when fielded effects. This die counts as gear. This cannot be ignored. And the way the attachment, the equip works is you effectively roll the dice and then you put it in line with the adventure to show that it's equipped. And if that adventure would die, you still get to keep the equipment and then just equip it to something else. You have Cloudcare. Deal 1 damage to each opposing character. Character dice damaged by this effect cannot attack or block this turn unless the opponent pays 1 per character die. Oh, that's a pretty cool ability. Delayed Blast Fireball. This is a whopping 5 to buy, and it has continuous on your opponent's turn, either when an attack is declared or the opponent skips the attack step. Deal 4 damage to all opposing characters and move this die to the use pile. Oof, that's hefty. Or if you've double burst, it deals 6 instead. That's enough to kill most level 3 characters. So, with the Flaming Sword, well, blue flame though, kind of interesting artwork choice there. So it's another equip. An equipped character die gets +2 attack and +2 defense. Flaming Sword deals 1 damage to character dice blocking or blocked by the equipped character, and it counts as gear and can't be ignored. That's pretty neat. We have Mordenkainen's Sword. I think I've pronounced that right. Target character die gets +X attack and +X defense, where X is the number of NPC dice in your opponent's used pile when you use the action dice. So you're going to have to remember what that number is. And global, pay double lightning, double bolt. Pay deal 1 damage to target character die. So just poke them with a bit of damage. You have Power Word Kill. KO target character die of level 2 or less. Very simple. And then for double burst, KO target character die of any level. So even if they're level 3, you can KO them. And global, pay double fist, KO target level 1 character die that was dealt damage this turn. That could be pretty nasty to finish something off. We have Shocking Grasp. Deal 1 damage to target character die. If that character is KO'd by this damage, you may put this die into your prep area. That's pretty neat. Effectively resets itself. So that's all the basic action cards. So I'm going to show you some of the dice in here. I'm just going to push a few up. Just get a select few out to show you what they look like. So let's try and make a gap in that. Or we're just going to, let's just go for it, shall we? Yes! Favourite bit about Dice Masters. Dice everywhere. So these are your NPC dice. In other versions of the game they're called things like Sidekick and stuff like that, but they're always the same in all of them. So you have this face which has a pawn symbol on it. It costs nothing to field when you roll it. It has 1 attack and 1 defense. And everyone starts with 8 of these. And then the other facings you have your mask, fist, shield and bolt, and then question mark. And question mark means 1 of any energy. So you start with 8 of these, and then on each of your turns you'll roll 4 dice normally. So at maximum, to start with, you can only buy a 4 cost card or less, maximum. But then when you get into the actual character die, they have double energy symbols on them. And this is what lets you buy the more expensive cards. So I'll show you here one of the white dragons. So it costs 1 to field, 4 attack and 4 defense. And you've got the different faces on there for the different levels. That's a 2 to field and it's a 6/5. As you can see, this one's semi-translucent. I really like that. That's a pretty dice. It's not very often you get the translucent ones. Usually they tend to be all solid colours. So there we go. So there we go. So it's those two. They have changed the dice slightly over time. The numbers have become slightly bigger, the engraving of the numbers. So don't know if that was a design choice or a if it was a necessary choice. But there we go. So there's a couple more of those. And then you have your basic action dice. Like I said, these were different colours. Now that's supposed to be orange. I'm sure it said orange, but that is clearly yellow. But we'll let them off. As long as you and your opponent know. So like I said, these are different colours. They're the same dice. 3 faces with 2 generic energy, and then 3 faces with the exclamation, which is your spell or basic action. And you get 3 of each colour in here. So 3 yellow, 3 cyan, 3 grey, and 3 pink. So that is enough for learning to play the game with. And there's plenty in here to play with and practice with. What you'll probably find is that you're going to play one side is going to play as mostly monsters, and probably the other side will play mostly as adventurers, but you might want to mix it up and split things up a bit, make it more interesting. So yeah. So yeah, that is everything in the Faerun Under Siege 2-player starter set. So if you are brand new to Dice Masters, definitely always start with the 2-player starter set. But even if you have already been playing, you've got the new basic action cards in here, and you've got the new different colours, and the new cards. So either way, it's worth picking these up and getting a hold of these 2-player starters, even if you've already started. So yeah, I think it's interesting. It shows you quite a few of the mechanics from the game as well, because you've got the experience, you've got the overcrush and stuff. You might have to refer to the rulebook a couple of times to some of those, just for some clarity on them, because especially with the experience, definitely check that out in the rulebook. But apart from that, it seems okay. It seems like it could be nice and fun to play. And then you'll definitely want to start looking at getting some boosters and getting some more dice, some more cards. So yeah, so there we go. So remember, everything you've seen here today can be bought and sold as individual pieces, as cards, or as dice individually on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk. Remember to like and subscribe. Check it out later. I'll also be doing a Faerun Under Siege collector's box, and I'll be doing Gravity Feed as well. So check those videos out if you're interested in this set. So yeah, that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.